my name is Tilian Abdurrahman. Welcome to YMA Features. This week we will be featuring Zahra Imran, the founder of Sub Kenya. Sub Kenya is a platform that she created to collaborate with businesses and give back to the community. So join me as I find out how Sub Kenya was born and what the inspiration was, what her first project was, what her current project is, and let's find out how we can also join her in helping back and give. Sorry, let's find out how we can help her in giving back to the community. Stay tuned. Thank you for joining me on this week's episode of YMA Features. And today I'm very honored to be interviewing the founder of Sub Kenya, Zahra. Thank you for joining me, Zahra.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here today.
Thank you. Tell us about yourself.
So my name is Zahra. I'm 27 years old. I am from New York. I was born and raised in New York. I moved to Kenya when I was 19. I got married and I have 2 little girls. And I studied teaching. So I opened up a daycare / activity center with a partner of mine named Majabin Doji called Niali Playhouse. Yeah. And then in January I started the idea of Sub Kenya.
So what inspired you to begin Sub Kenya?
Well, a lot of things inspired me to give back to Sub Kenya, but a lot of personal things that had happened in the past couple of years, and then basically the main idea that when I opened up Niali Playhouse, I realized that I was meeting so many new people, so many people doing amazing things, so many businesses I was learning about, but there was like this missing link between getting your business and getting your name out there. Yeah. Because we normally in Mombasa stay within our circle. Right. So I wanted to create an atmosphere where you can reach many at a very quick amount of time. And I saw Instagram as being the perfect platform for that. Literally, you can post something and you have 100 people being able to see it within 10 seconds. Right. So the power of Instagram has been a great help. The power of my followers and the support that they give has made Sub Kenya what it is today.
Yeah, and congratulations on expanding to Tanzania within 6 months. I was so happy to see that. Yeah. So tell me about your main strategy and how you give back to the community.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go on the Sub Tanzania. Okay. We're also expanding in Australia, but the deal is that I'm not controlling what the website or anything. They're just taking the initiative and implementing it where they are. So the brand stays the same and the goal is the same, but their flair or the way they do it will be in their own way. Because the point of Sub was to spread kindness, and I'm so glad that it's gotten to the point where other people have taken the initiative to be like, oh, I want to implement this in where I live. So that makes me really happy. And then you were asking me, sorry, I forgot the question.
Yeah, your strategy.
Okay, my strategy is that I ask businesses who want to be advertised on my page, instead of them paying me, I ask them to either use their products, services, or if their products or services don't fit, then they do a donation according to where we want to allocate it. They can choose a project, or I can help them choose a project. So I think of creative ways of using their business to give back, and that in itself is a way of advertising, which is really cool. So it puts a twist, and all parties included in this transaction are never really they're never at a loss. Yeah. Everyone benefits. So you really can't, you can't really go wrong with the idea, which is really nice. Yeah. Because I sometimes couldn't guarantee I'll bring you this many followers or this many. But at the end of the day, even if they don't get followers or whatever, they've done something good for the betterment of other people. So I think that's how it works so well. And honestly, it wouldn't have worked as well if my followers weren't as supportive. Yeah. Them resharing, them trusting me, gave the businesses confidence in me, and also allowed for the projects to go ahead with, because you can't do it alone. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yes. So tell us about your first project when you first started Sub Kenya.
Okay, so my first project, I introduced FitBite, which is a girl named Ripa. She's a nutritionist, and she makes these home meals so that they're catered to your So it's vegetarian, but it helps you eat, like it forces you to eat healthy, but it's so tasty. So a lot of us don't like eating healthy because
Yeah.
it's really not that fun. Let's be
Yeah.
real. But she makes it so yummy that you kind of like want to eat it. So I advertised her first, and in return, she made like a healthy snack that we took to an orphanage. So that was one of my first projects, and as we were introduced to more businesses, we did different projects. Some projects like the Natural Moms Company, when we did the soap bars, we ended up doing that every month, where we would make newborn hampers for Coast General, where they have low income families giving birth there. So it was really helpful. So when the hampers are one of my most favorite projects because it's a collaboration between many companies and a way to showcase many companies. And it's like a really nice gesture. I like whenever I do the Coast General visits, it always makes me really happy. Yeah.
I've seen your Costello visits, and
Yeah.
you seem like it's really interesting.
Yeah.
So, what companies do you collaborate with when doing the hampers?
So the hampers, I've collaborated with the Natural Moms Company. I've collaborated with Afroganics, the Inkbox Kenya. The Inkbox Kenya, even though their products aren't used, she donated bibs.
Okay.
So the bibs, so she did it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
So because she does more like cake toppers, balloon designs, and stuff like that. So basically, and then we also had Ayuriv diapers. Their company donated Pampers and wipes. Then I also have private donors that help with and then also Must Haves donated the actual basket that we were able to give. So it's a bunch of people collaborating. Sometimes I only have one person that does the whole thing.
Okay.
Like one for next month, the Rapistry in Nairobi, she managed to do the whole hamper herself.
Oh, that's nice.
Which was really nice. And then last month it was quite simple. It was more silent donors, and it was a more simpler version of the hamper. So sometimes the hampers have more items, sometimes they have less, but they still benefit the moms.
So, to support you with Sub Kenya, you don't really have to be a business, you can just be a donor.
You can be a silent donor. We don't turn away anyone.
Okay, that's
so even
great.
recently, there was a company that had approached me, and she was like, I do marketing and advertising. Like, I don't know how I could use my products or services to help orphanages or hospitals. And I said, at the end of the day, if you offer a giveaway to help someone's business, that's also giving back. It doesn't mean just because you're an orphanage or a hospital that you need help. We all need help. Sometimes I need help, sometimes you need help. So the point is that as long as we're spreading kindness and helping one another and uplifting one another through this platform, then that's all that matters. It doesn't necessarily mean the person needs to use their products or services. It doesn't necessarily mean if you don't have a business you can't. So it's inclusive to everyone. I never turn away anyone. Someone even once sent me, you can send as little as 100 shillings to as much as 100,000 shillings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no amount too big, no amount too small.
Right. So, I've seen these projects that you're currently running on the sewing machines and computers and laptops. Please tell us more about it.
So on Eid, I went with Rise Above Hope, which is another foundation that does phenomenal work, I must say. And we collaborated to giving biryani on Eid to all the orphanages. So when I went to El Rayhan Orphanage, they normally have 70 girls that they have, but during Corona, the COVID crisis, they have 40 at the moment. And the head, the lady's name who runs the place is Amina, was so different from other heads that I've seen. So modern, so with it, so all about girl power. And I thought, this is where I can implement this project. If the head of the orphanage is on par with me, then this is the only way it'll be successful, right? Because I can hand any orphanages computers and sewing machines. What they do with it is what's left, So I can trust her to follow through. So what we did is we got 2 sewing machines donated by Birds of Paradise, and then we were able to purchase 3 more sewing machines by Covered in Confidence. It's actually my cousin in New York who does like a hijab fashion kind of line, and she was able to raise money through an Ease magazine. So that, and then we got donations from the YMA Association in Nairobi. They donated 4 new computers and 2 used computers, and a couple of laptops came in too. So I sent those to the IT. They're getting set up, and then we're getting an IT teacher that I will pay their salary monthly, and I'm looking for a sewing teacher to also teach them so that they can be self-sustainable. Whether it be they make deras, whether they make masks, whatever it is with the sewing, and with the IT, maybe I want to introduce them to the idea of graphic designing and stuff like that, where they can help the businesses around them. And we also got printers, which was awesome. So And that's not by me. It's with a group of people, a bunch of people coming together and responding,
Yeah.
and which makes it happen. I'm just the facilitator. Like, I'm literally just like the middleman. I really can't take credit for it. It's really everyone else's help that makes it happen. Yeah.
Right. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and thank you so much, Zahra.
Oh, thank you.
But before we end tell me, Zahra, what is your current project?
So the current project is the IT room that I'm setting up at Al Rayyan and the sewing machines. And also, like, just right now, I'm trying to help with little projects, like just making sure that all the orphanages have the supplies they need and stuff like that. So yeah, those are the main stuff. Because of the pandemic, I haven't been able to do as much as I'd like, unfortunately. But I'm doing as much as I can with my limitations and with the girls and all the stuff that's going on. It's kind of hard for me to like do as much as I was doing before. Yeah.
So you talked about your monthly. So you talked about your monthly costranal hampers, the newborn hampers
Yeah.
that you. So can anyone join in or
Yes.
volunteer?
Yes. Anyone, even like to come and give them out.
Yeah.
Yes. I've had a couple of people on Instagram say like, "Oh, I'm interested in coming." I tell them, "Okay, I'm going on this day, this time. Meet me there."
Okay.
Any projects, anything that I'm doing, I always I'm okay with anyone joining me and coming along with me. I'm so open to that. I love meeting new people, and I really would like other people to see that it's really easy to make a difference.
Yeah.
You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be poor. You don't need to be a girl. You don't need to be a boy. You don't need to be young. You don't need to be old. Anyone is capable of making a difference, and that's really important. You know?
Yeah. So maybe soon I'll be joining you for
Okay.
one of the
I would love
projects.
for you to join me.
Yeah. So before we end the shoot, tell me what your advice to the youth would be.
Wow, that's a long one. Okay, my advice to the youth. I think if I could give one advice to the youth is to tell them that when you're going through like your younger years through life, I feel like life feels really like those issues that you have feel like it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
But I want you to know that as you grow older, there's so much more to live for, so much more to appreciate.
Yeah.
And as you grow, you learn that. So just know that the issues that you think might be the end of the world will be very microscopic in the future. And that you have something to work towards. And there's nothing ever that can stop you from doing something if your heart's in the right place. So if you believe that you want to do something and you put your heart into it, it will happen. Just be patient and be positive and be grateful. And that's really the main three things I would say. Like, there's so much advice I could give the youth. The world we live in today is so scary.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but that would be the gist of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode, and Zahra, I'm really honored. Thank you for welcoming us to your home,
Oh, no,
and
thank you for coming
thank
all
you
this
so
way.
much for everything.
Thank you too.